Yo, welcome everyone. Bitcoin has gotten another push down, forming a new lower low. The price now looks extremely choppy, so we might be expecting a violent move very soon. Let me show you. You're first going to see that Bitcoin yesterday got a fake out above our major trendline area of resistance. We took the liquidity above the recent high, but also we actually hit some kind of a very important level right here. Remember from our yesterday's video, we were measuring the entire upper price section with volume. So if we go right now with our volume indicator, you can actually notice the bottom volume area of resistance, the value area low on Bitcoin, was hit almost to the exact dollar accuracy. Not only that, connecting right now all of our recent lows, you can actually see this specific area has been quite an important level for a very long time. Previously, it was the area of support, the area of support right here, support, and once broken down, it is going to turn into the area of resistance. However, what we can right to say, if potentially Bitcoin does continue higher, more times we get a retest of the level, the higher the likelihood of a successful breakout. So I would definitely right to say, if Bitcoin is going to successfully continue higher, going back into our area of resistance, it is simply going to mean very high probability of a breakout back towards the upside, towards another very important level, which is going to be the golden Fibonacci ratio, and we are going to talk about this exact level slightly later. On the rejection back down, remember, the most important levels usually are going to be liquidity levels. Bitcoin right here, surprisingly or maybe even not, took the liquidity below our recent low, and also pay right now attention to the liquidations on this entire push down. Almost exactly at the low, we definitely got a liquidation spike, which clearly shows us once people get wrecked, once people get stopped out, only then we might be expecting some kind of a reversal right here on the Bitcoin price. For now, I do remain in all of my long trades on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, XRP, and also Solana. Yes, unfortunately, some of them right now are being in a very slight loss, but the reality is, if potentially right here we are right now going to get another push towards the upside, back towards our area of resistance, as we said before, more times we test the level, higher the likelihood of a successful breakout. And right now, let's actually talk about our bullish scenario. I really would like to show you because, of course, the price action right here on the 30-minute time frame, I think you're going to agree with me. It looks really choppy, it looks really slow, and also right here, when we right now go with our volume indicator, let's just say on the 30-minute, 1 hourly, even 2 hourly time frame, the volume is nothing significant. Sure, we are pushing down, but of course, we are chopping around this specific area right now for a very long time. So it could right now mean that this push towards the upside is not really an impulse and is probably a correction. Remember a few days ago, I already shared with you a bullish scenario I'm paying attention to. We identified that this right here can be our first impulse. Bitcoin right here could be forming a second elite wave, then of course, third elite wave, fourth one, and then also the fifth elite wave. Now, I would say, because this specific price action right here is taking a very long time to develop, potentially this right here is not really the second elite wave. It could actually be the second part of some kind of an ABC correction, or simply the B elite wave. That is why necessarily we are not paying attention to the price target of the 1.618 when we are right to measuring this entire push up, putting the third pivot right here exactly at the bottom and going with 1.618. The 1.618 is definitely the target of our third elite wave. But of course, if this right here is not the 5-wave price structure, is only some kind of an ABC, definitely the first target I would be aware of is then going to be the 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension at approximately $76,800 US. If Bitcoin right here does continue higher, our long trades right here are definitely going to be once again back in profit. And more about the exact next trading idea slightly later. Right now, I would appreciate if you smash up the like button because 1000 likes are really possible. And of course, also thank you for subscribing to the channel. Now, let me zoom out on the weekly time frame because right here we might be getting something very nice and bullish confirmed in the upcoming days. We are going to go with the moving average convergence divergence indicator and also RSI or relative strength index. Let's go on the weekly time frame where we are first of all right now going to see On the weekly time frame, the MACD indicator clearly right now, it is getting a beautiful higher low right here. If the bottom on Bitcoin is right now actually in and we start moving towards the upside, for sure, this bullish divergence is going to get confirmed. Right now, it is not confirmed just yet, but nevertheless, it is definitely forming right here another higher low. On top of that, as you probably already know, we are being in the oversold area on the RSI indicator, but once again on the weekly time frame, which is actually a very high term time frame. And let me right now share with you exactly the last time this exact thing happened back in 2022. Pay right now attention to the MACD and the RSI indicator. Higher low on MACD, lower low on Bitcoin. And the RSI right here definitely went directly in the oversold area. It doesn't look exactly the same, but nevertheless, it definitely does look very, very similar. RSI indicator right now again, it is being in the oversold area. Potentially, we are going to get a confirmed bullish divergence on the MACD indicator, which it really does look like it is going to be very, very similar to what happened in bear market in 2022. If you would buy on the confirmed bullish divergence, once the RSI was oversold, you would be buying at approximately $20,000. Now, unfortunately, you would not buy the exact bottom, but I think you can agree with me, this buy right here would be actually almost the exact bottom of the entire bear market, and the price of $20,000 would actually give you a significant profit, especially right now looking back in the future, that Bitcoin topped out at approximately $125,000. So what we are getting right now with the MACD and the RSI, at least in my opinion, it is quite a major bullish Bitcoin indication. Now, let's go back and zoom in, let's just say on the 1 hourly time frame, because right here, I still want to talk about another very important trend line area of resistance. I really do hope the chart right now is going to load. And what we can see here, of course, Bitcoin has been forming a lot of lower highs. And with the one we formed only a few hours ago, we can right now identify a brand new trend line area of resistance. Of course, yesterday we were going with this one, connecting all of those lower highs right here. However, right now it does look like that this specific push towards the upside did not really respect this specific area of resistance. That is now why we need to make slight adjustments. So I'm going to once again go with the trend line, connect once again this specific high, but go with this specific lower high we formed only a few hours ago. And right now it does look like Bitcoin does have another very important trendline area of resistance, just slightly higher at approximately $67,200. And I would say like that, if this specific level is going to be able to get a breakout towards the upside, what is then going to be another important level we should be paying attention to? As we said before, right now, one of the most important levels we should be aware of is going to be the value area low. Why so? Because this specific zone right here has been very nicely respected on the Bitcoin price itself. And yes, this specific high right here that was formed only a few hours ago is right now quite nicely aligning with another important level. Let's go with the anchored VWAP. Let's anchor it exactly at this specific high, and what you're going to see, the anchored VWAP coming in almost exactly at the previous high right here at approximately $68,200. So this specific level is a local area of resistance, but what we said before, more times we retest the level, the higher the likelihood of a successful breakout. So if we right now know that this specific zone has been respected and actually retested for multiple times, if you look like that, we do have quite a high probability of getting a breakout. And what we usually say, the most important level we should usually pay attention to is always going to be the golden Fibonacci ratio, going right now with a high back towards the low, the golden pocket coming in at approximately $69,500. And not only that, let's go with the fixed range volume profile, measuring this entire price action. You can notice POC, the biggest volume cluster, coming in exactly at the point of control. So if you right now ask me what is the bigger area of resistance right here, I would definitely go with this one at approximately $69,500, where of course, if you are maybe even looking for another long position right here, you might be taking some profits off the table. And of course, if you want to trade with us right here, I would suggest you for you to actually go with a beautiful $8,500 bonus without KYC and without VPN, with the second link down down below in the description, because BTC Exchange is right now having with me quite a special campaign. You register, you deposit, you're going to get a 20% deposit bonus, but also the more you're going to trade and the better you're going to trade, the bigger bonuses you're going to get using the second link down below in the description after you register and after initial deposit. Right now, let me also share with you another very important and an interesting indication on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. On the 3-day time frame, definitely, the bigger liquidations are actually exactly above our recent highs at approximately 68,500 US dollars, literally almost the exact same level as we were saying, where we also do have our anchored VWAP when we anchor it exactly at this specific high. But what we said before, if we have retested this specific level right now for multiple times, potentially our liquidations cluster right here is going to get broken up. But most importantly, on the 3-day time frame, bigger liquidations are not below the recent lows, but actually above the recent highs, which right now means this specific level is acting as a magnet for the Bitcoin price itself. However, right now, I still want to share with you what is going to be our lower target. What if our plan right here is not going to play out, Bitcoin does not get a pump right here, and we are literally right here going to get another major collapse. Again, if we do go lower, I am going to get stopped out on all of my long trades right here, but the reality right now is I still want to be prepared just in case Bitcoin right here is going to start pushing even lower towards downside. So what is then going to be our next major price target you really should pay attention to in a case Bitcoin goes lower? And then also I want to show you exactly where potentially you might be looking for another long or buy trade. So what we are going to do, let's go with our line chart. We are going to go on the 3-day time frame and simply right here identify quite a nice area of support. It is going to be a slightly bigger zone, especially if we are right now connecting this specific low with all of our previous ones right here, but nevertheless, this major zone right here has been beautifully respected already back in 2024. Also right now, applying our high-term time frame support levels on the chart, what you can see, we actually do have right here 2 daily high-term time frame areas of support, and also the weekly high-term time frame levels slightly lower at approximately 55,000 US dollar area. So I would say like that, if Bitcoin right here does get another push down, we start breaking our local support levels right here, definitely our next major price target is then going to be at approximately 57 or maybe even 55,000 US dollar area. And also remember, the first local area of support I already shared with you yesterday, of course it is going to be the golden Fibonacci ratio. I also talked about it in my free VIP Discord server, where I shared with you that the golden Fibonacci ratio is coming in at approximately 64,000 US dollars. However, let me right now share with you exactly how we can right now approach the chart right here, where potentially we might be looking for another long or buy trade. First of all, you need to understand, overall speaking, we are still in a downtrend. So technically, the gravity is pushing Bitcoin lower and lower and lower. However, we also need to ask ourselves, are we right now, if we are longing right here, buying low or buying high? The reality is we have been dumping quite significantly for a very long period of time, and that is simply why looking for another long trade right here is definitely, in my opinion, a better option. You are buying low and potentially selling high if Bitcoin right here is going to get another push up. So how would I right now approach the Bitcoin chart where potentially we might be looking for another long or buy trade? I would say like that, if Bitcoin right here does get another push down, we still do have right here another golden Fibonacci ratio. But here, what you can be paying attention to, let's go right now with our fixed range volume profile, measuring right now literally this entire bottom price section with volume. What you can notice, if Bitcoin right here does get another push down hitting our golden Fibonacci ratio, then simply wait for a sign of strength. And what is going to be a sign of strength? A bounce towards the upside, once again above the value area low. If this right here is going to happen, not only you're going to have a beautiful long entry, you're buying on a sign of strength, you know exactly where is going to be your stop loss, of course below the recent low right here, simply targeting, at least as we said before, the 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension level. So this right here can be a beautiful trading idea in case Bitcoin right here does get a push down. Of course, breaking the golden Fibonacci ratio, major red flag. You definitely then want to be out of your long trade, because probably Bitcoin then is going to drop much lower back towards downside. Now, what if we are not going to go lower? What you can potentially do right here, I would say, if you feel slightly more aggressive, you might be looking for another long trade, literally where we are as right now, stop loss below the recent low. Yes, potentially you might get stopped out out of this specific long trade. But of course, again, another entry could be offered to us if Bitcoin hits the golden Fibonacci ratio, and then simply longing on the sign of strength, on the acceptance above our value area low. So right here, we definitely do have proper risk management. We do know exactly where we are setting our stop losses, where we are entering brand new long trades. We know exactly where we are going to be wrong, but also, of course, we know exactly what are going to be our higher targets if Bitcoin right here is actually going to get another major pump towards the upside. And that is right why, if you want to trade with us, take an advantage of the free $8,500 bonus, no KYC, no VPN, with the second link down below in the description, because you register, you deposit, you're going to get a 20% deposit bonus, but also the better you're going to trade and more you're going to trade, the bigger bonuses you're going to get right here. But also right now, thank you for smashing up the like button.